We've got some exciting stuff to show you with some new things we've been working on at Liveheats in the world of video and streaming. And I'm excited to welcome our guest along as well. We have had a little change of plans. Chris Smith, our original guest, has had to unfortunately drop out, but we have got an even better guest joining us, Donny Fraser, who has been running live streaming for the Rumble Pro Skate Tour for a number of years and has basically taken his organization from no streaming a few years ago to a world-class stream across Fuel TV, 7+, their own channels, and has some really good learnings to share with you all. So let's dive straight in. Hopefully you can all see my screen and I'll take you through the webinar. So throughout the webinar, if you have any questions, please submit them through Slido. If you want to take a moment now to just scan the QR code on your phone, you can pull up Slido and submit any questions, and then Donny and I will pause at the end of the session to answer them. And then if you have any, or you spot any questions you're interested in, you can also upvote other people's questions, so we make sure we answer those at the end. So you'll see the QR code here. Feel free to scan that now, and you'll see it in the corner of the slides as I make my way through. Cool. So we're all here today to talk about live streaming. And why are we talking about this? So the need that we are all here to solve is, ever since sports competitions have existed, supporters have had an insatiable appetite to follow the action. So interestingly, I was watching a movie recently, and you could see in the 30s, people gathered around the radio to listen to, the updates from the rowing competitions or whatever sport might be happening. So this has been a century-long problem. People who are interested in the sport want to follow along with what's happening live. The version 1 solution of this was Liveheats in the early days. So we were instrumental in bringing live scoring and live updates to the world of surf, skate, snow, and ocean racing. And in the early days of Liveheats, this was actually a challenge in itself. Even getting 3 tablets and 3 or 4G at most event sites in the communities where it was quite difficult. But fast forward 10 years later, and Liveheats now is universal in the sports we work in, and it is thanks to the Liveheats tech, but also to other innovations such as 5G and Starlink, making scoring and live updates and having tablets at events essentially accessible to everybody. So now that the world of live scoring, live updates has arrived to our sports, we are looking at what the next wave is. And now we know that scoring is universal. The next wave is live streaming. Like live scoring, our mission is to make this technology accessible to all levels of competition. And this is really a big initiative that we're focused on for this next chapter. So introducing streaming via Liveheats, simple tools to create a pro-level stream that integrates nicely with scoring, results, and more. So we've designed this integration to work for anything from a simple iPhone stream through to a fully professional production. And you can see here, this is the Billabong Ockies Grom Comp, a surfing contest that we piloted this integration with earlier in the year. And this was a produced stream with commentary and multiple cameras. We've now also run close to 50 events across different levels, including really simple iPhone streams. So our streaming tech that we've added not only allows you to stream through Liveheats, but we have also really enhanced our graphics for bringing your data to life within the stream itself. So we have a range of graphics packages now available for all different sports and different modules and layouts that you can turn on and off during your stream, whether it's a leaderboard, a start list, an upcoming heat, a rankings. We now have a really flexible graphics package that you can use to basically bring your scoring to life within the stream itself, which is awesome if you're presenting a stream on, say, a TV. And then if you're streaming to Liveheats, we also now have a really good mobile experience that integrates the scores below your stream, so you can keep an eye on everything in one view. And this is just the beginning for what we're working on at Liveheats. So now we have our version 1 streaming integration that you'll see how to use that today, and that's live and available now. we have a lot of exciting things planned for the next few releases. So the first thing we want to work on next is navigating to your particular heat or ride in the stream. So imagine you're a competitor, the streams run through Liveheats. Liveheats has the event schedule, so we can really quickly allow that competitor to hop to their heat within the schedule, so they can quickly find their rides or runs or their performance. And then the next level of that will be hopping to the score or the individual run itself. We have all the data points within our system to make that happen. So that's a natural evolution of us providing a streaming experience on Liveheats. The second feature we're really excited to work on in the next chapter is clipping your rides or your performance and sharing to social media. So once we allow you to navigate to your heat or your run in the stream, a natural extension of that is to then provide an easy tool to clip that particular part of the vision out and then share that to your social media. And then in the long run, we also want to bring in some AI tools into the Liveheats experience. So AI now is pervasive in video, and you'll see athlete identification, ride identification, text starting to pop up over the coming years, and we want to have that built into Liveheats. And we are working with the leading AI companies in this space to bring those models into our tools so we can not only have the really nice experience for interacting with the stream, but amazing tools for tagging and clipping out your rides and posting them straight to social media. So that's a little bit of a snapshot of our journey so far in streaming. And what I want to do now is take you through a really simple guide if you are new to streaming to doing your first stream on Liveheats in our lightweight version. So this can be run on a simple setup as just something as simple as an iPhone pointed at your event arena. And I'll take you through the step-by-steps of how to make this happen. So the first thing you want to do is go shopping. So all you need to do a simple stream with this new Liveheats tool is a smartphone tripod. So this is actually a setup that I used myself at a ski and snowboard event on the weekend in Dubai. This was about a $10 tripod. And I just sat it next to the judges in the judging area, pointed it at the course, and I had a really good quality stream that the athletes and parents and coaches and fans were all really stoked with. So the setup was a simple tripod for the device, and then had a battery pack and then a cable to keep the phone charged. Optionally, you can connect a Bluetooth mic if you would like commentary to run through the stream, and then you need enough 4 or 5G data on the device to run your events. So for about 6 hours of streaming, you need between 10 and 15 gigabytes. So yeah, if you're running a longer or shorter one, you can adjust that accordingly. And then temperature control. So if you are running your stream in a hot area, for example, at the beach or at a skate park, you will need to make sure that your device that's streaming is in the shade. So whether you want to put it within the tent or under an umbrella. Conversely to that, if you're running this in cold environments like the snow mountain, you want to make sure that that device doesn't get too cold. As it is streaming, it is going to be keeping quite warm naturally, so you won't need to worry about this too much, but it is worth just making sure if it's super cold, you might want to have a hand warmer in the case of the device to keep it warm through the stream. So once you've gone shopping, you have your kit, the next step, if you haven't done this already, is to create a YouTube channel for your organization. So importantly, we recommend running your streams through the YouTube platform. We have done our integration with YouTube. It is the primary streaming platform globally. And there's tons of amazing technology that we can access via that integration. So yeah, jump onto YouTube, create a channel for your organization, and keep it separate to your personal YouTube account. Once you have created your YouTube channel, you then want to hop in on a laptop and create a scheduled stream for your event. If it's your first time using YouTube for your organization, you need to do this 24 hours in advance of your event because they have a 24-hour waiting period before you can go live for the first time. This is just so they can keep spammers and scammers from doing live streams around the clock. So they do make sure you activate that 24 hours before your event. So you want to set up your scheduled streaming event, and we will send you out a detailed instruction guide for these steps. So don't worry about taking notes here, but this will just take you through the high level. You'll set up a scheduled stream. One streaming link should be generated for each day of your events, and save those streaming links so then you can link those to your Liveheats account. Step 4, you will link those streaming links to your Liveheats event. So we have a web form where you can submit your stream links. Like I said, if you have multiple days, submit those over the period of your event waiting period, one link per day. We will link all those together for you in the background, and we'll schedule those so that each day's stream will go live automatically. And then when your event goes live, you'll see an automatic button showing up on your usual live events event page with a watch live here where your viewers and spectators can access the live stream. Now, to get set up, you'll want to download a app to the smartphone that will be running the stream. The app is called Prism Live, and this is the leading app for mobile-based streaming. What you want to do is download Prism Live and then connect the YouTube channel that you created in the previous step to Prism Live, and that will give you everything you need to go live on event day. Now, once you've logged into Prism Live, it'll display all of the scheduled YouTube streams that you have set up previously. So you'll just want to select the day's event that you're streaming. It's a really simple step. You'll just select from your schedules, click on the particular day that you're wanting to stream, and that will pop up now ready for you to go. Now, when it's event day, you'll want to log back into Prism Live. The selected stream will be ready for you to go live, and you have to remember to rotate your phone horizontally. You do only get one chance of doing this. For the stream orientation, it is fixed. So you want to make sure your phone's horizontal. You'll set that in your tripod, and then when you're ready, you'll press this fluoro button here to go live. Now, that's as simple as it is. You'll just have to follow those steps and you'll have a live stream ready to go. I do recommend for that phone that is pointed at the action to make sure that's on Do Not Disturb, and then optionally you'll see settings within Prism Live to use a Bluetooth microphone. If you would like your commentary to go live out through the broadcast, you'll get one of the Bluetooth microphones that has a little clip on. Just attach that to your commentator, and they'll talk through that in addition to the physical on event microphone, and you'll have audio running through your stream. And that's it. Once you have gone live on Prism Live, it will automatically come through on Liveheats, and you'll have a pro level stream on your Liveheats event. Spectators can access that as usual on the same link that they'll view live scoring, and everything will be live automatically. It does scale nicely, whether you're on a mobile or on your laptop. You will get a nice experience for your athletes to follow along live. So this process, it is really easy for people who are even non-technical. I myself am not super technical when it comes to streaming, and I was easily able to run this model at the event that I streamed on the weekend in Dubai. You can see this is the actual event that I streamed. Super simple, yet it was really exciting to the community. The athletes loved it. And yeah, once we have added on our next set of tools, such as those clippings and rewinds, really excited to see where we can go with this solution. So yeah, that's my spiel on what Liveheats is hoping to do in the world of streaming, some of the features we've released recently, and then a little how-to guide for your first stream. What I'm going to do now is hand over to our guest, Donny Fraser. Donny is an organizer himself. He essentially brought professional skateboarding to life in Australia over the last 20 years with the Rumble Pro Tour. And he's going to take you through a few things that he learned going from no streams through to doing a really high production quality stream over the last decade. So Donny, over to you.
Thank you. So I've been, I guess, heavily involved in skateboarding for a very long time. With about the last decade is where we've really started our broadcast and, you know, developed it into a really fine-tuned machine now. So we did start with phones and things like that. So I thought where I could be beneficial is taking a lot of you through that journey of getting it started and how to get from A to B. And not everybody's going to want to go from A to B and make it a high scale production, but it'll give you a lot of things to think about that you can really take forward from here. So I'll take you through all the slides and a bit of different information. So one of the first things I think about is the purpose of the streaming is very important. It's not always, let's build something that's going to be, getting millions of views. Sometimes it could be to run a replay screen at the event. It could be like with skateboarding, we have issues sometimes where the courses don't have really good viewing for judging, so we can actually have the stream to have better view for the judges in the tent through monitors and things like that. The different bodies, athletes use their content to send videos in for selection. It can help with improving judging and watching it back, or if there's a score appeal. There's a lot of different purposes to what you do. So if you think about what you need it for, it really helps drive, I guess, how it's going to look ongoing and as it goes forward as well. Chris is very right. The Liveheats system is great. It does start really simple. You can use a phone. That one of the benefits is that everybody who watches sort of professional sport, you've always got the scores on the screen. With the Liveheats in the past, you would need to pull the graphics in, and sometimes you'd need a professional to do that. Having this YouTube system and pulling it in the Liveheats means that the graphics are already overlaid, so it does give it a professional look really simply, and there's the ability to expand on the graphics. I know we've got sponsors, logos, timers, we've got people's countries on there, we've got who's coming up next. There's a lot of any data that goes in the Liveheats can be pulled out into your graphics, so it's a great way to use that. And from a starting point, I think this is really simplified how people can get started on building a broadcast system as well. I do say, if you are looking at possibly building your broadcast over time, I think the kit that Chris recommended is a really good start. But if you are going to continue to expand, maybe run multiple cameras, commentary teams and things like that, it's really important to plan your equipment around that. One of the issues that people have is they might get a mixer for their microphones and cameras, but then when they need more cameras, there's not enough channels to run that through. So as you expand, you want to really think about the equipment you get that can cater for growth. Otherwise you end up constantly having to replace your equipment and get new equipment into. And just on that point, I think as well, think of who's watching and what that kind of content needs to look like. So I mean, I know for us on Liveheats now, it's the athletes and it's a lot of the families and that checking the scores. I know on the broadcast it's very similar, and then you've got your general punters as well. This is going to bring them all into one place. So I think if that's the goal, how you produce that is going to be really beneficial in thinking about what they want to see. But if it's something for admin purposes like judging or tracking those sort of things, it can be a lot simpler, and you can run a simple stream and just keep a record. It's very good what Chris said as well. Content on social media is really strong. Having one of these is going to give you, depending on the size of your event, 2 to 6 hours of footage that you can then reuse across social media and continue to promote those events as well. So if you are looking at potentially for your club or organization using the video and the stream to generate revenue, there is opportunity there through ads within the broadcast, through naming rights of the video. There's a lot of different ways. We've generally had a lot of our existing sponsors put extra revenue in to be on the broadcast, so you're not having to go and start from scratch. They've got TV ads ready to go that fit the stream, and most streams are a 1080, which is your standard for broadcast. So you can push those ads out pretty easy, and it's a great way to, give those sponsors a little extra as well. Having a broadcast, though, regardless of what level it's at, is how you're going to help raise revenue for that too. It's very hard to go to market for sponsors for a broadcast that hasn't existed yet, and they can be complicated. So you do need to run one, and work out your teething issues and work through that process to get one on the board. And I think this Liveheats way kind of minimizes a lot of the complications around it. So it's a great way to get started, and it's on a platform that's already got eyes. So it's a great way if your organization is looking to revenue raise through video content. This is a great starting point to execute that. The other thing I'd recommend is, if you look at, I guess, the top level broadcasts and where you'd like to see yours be in time, it's hard to roll out a lot of things in one go. So it's good to have a wish list of what you'd like to have, and that could be a host on the ground and 2 commentators in a studio, or it could be, better graphics, or extra cameras as you expand over time. So I recommend having a wish list. These things all cost money. So I guess the way we've done it over time is, as we've developed the broadcast and got further sponsorship and investment, we often go to a sponsor and be like, hey, we want to have a replays, and it's going to cost us this much, and we'd like you to pay for that. So there's ways you can commercialize it with your growth, and as you develop, the sponsors get more out of it as well. Also around the world, there's a lot of streaming platforms. There's a lot of TV stations. There's a lot of digital services that offer streaming at the moment. Action sports generally, and the sports on Liveheats, I find that they generally have high viewership, but networks are not particularly, they struggle to move out of the mainstream sports a lot of the time. I think what's happening right now is, we've all seen probably a long time ago how big things like Fuel TV were, in their prime and things like that. What happens right now is, we've got Liveheats, who has majority of the organizers around the world using its platform, and people going on there to check scores, being able to push streams to it. It's almost like it has the opportunity for all of us to be a central platform for viewing action sports around the world. So there's some great opportunities here with what we're already doing to just, I guess, expand and grow as a collective too. You'll probably find that it's good to talk to other organizers who've streamed, especially in your sport. There's different challenges in a lot of different sports with a lot of different things. But skateboarding, like the courses are different everywhere. You've got to make sure you film everybody from the same side. Otherwise, when they come back the other way, it looks like they're changing direction. So there's some basic intel that every sport has, that's really helpful for working out best practice. And sometimes it doesn't hurt to just run a couple and test them out, and find what works for you. Like I said, everyone's different, and you're going to have your own little niche things that work the best for you guys too. So I guess just on the hardware and software, if you're moving away from a one phone setup and you want to expand, there's a few things I'd recommend. Is like I said before, like plan ahead. Think about, if you've got a camera, it needs to be able to work with other cameras. If you're going to have multiple cameras, if you've got a central input device where the microphones and all the cameras run into mix, you want to make sure you've got enough channels on that. You need, internet's important. Like, we're in Australia here, and we've got quite a lot of regional areas, so we run multiple networks when we're on site. If one network fails, we've got some basics there as well, and we've got the backup system in place. And there is a point where, when it gets really complicated, sometimes it is worth having a look at production companies nearby. I know if you look at someone like NEP do, things like the Commonwealth Games and the Olympics, they do most, and they're in just about every country. Those guys are $30,000 to $50,000 an event. They are absolutely very expensive, but there are a lot of small sport operators. I think we can get a crew in Australia here for about $3,000, and they bring 2 cameramen, all the equipment. They have the commentary team. They push the feed out, they switch, and they put the graphics on. There's a point where it gets too complicated for you, where it's worth having a look at, some local production companies in those areas to hand that over to. And, if you've got some stuff there already, sometimes you can tie into that, and that can be really beneficial to just keep it simple. But I think the main thing is, if you've got good stream, you get your internet working, you make sure it runs on time, and you run that initial starting stream, then you can look at how you can expand on those other things as well. So I guess the main thing too is, I guess, goal planning for your stream. Why? The why is probably the main one, and that makes all the other decisions quite easy. I think probably if you're a local community group, a live stream is for the people who are on there now. The parents and families are jumping on Liveheats and they're checking the scores if their kids are away, and things like that. So that's a really simple one. If you're like a local community club, having that stream with a phone is probably more than sufficient. It means that all the relatives and families can watch wherever they are instead of just checking the scores. Revenue is a big part of it. I think that keeping it simple, if you've got existing sponsors, offer them ad space for a bit more. You can sell ads outside of that, and the rights to the broadcast are probably the simplest way to sell and raise money for your organization through broadcast. Keeps it nice and simple. You think about those improvements along the way, how you want to make it better. There are things, if you're like, we're in skateboarding, and I know everyone's different, but we have, some downtime gaps in between where, the heats are finished and warm up for the next one's on, and you've kind of got a bit of a blank thing in between. So you want to look at how you can improve that, whether it's, running extra graphics or having the commentary team talk through. And a lot of these will be a constant work in progress. So you do your first stream and you look at what worked and what didn't, and you make a list and you just continue to work through it. It's not too complicated, but it's good to have some planning around that, and that will really help you just continue to improve it. And sometimes it's little things like you can adjust the speed, and whether it's 4K or 1080 on your phone before you broadcast, and you'll find that 1080 is what most TVs use, and it doesn't chew as much internet, so you're not going to have as many dropouts. So depending on where you are and what your internet service is like, you've got a lot of ways to manage that really well. And I think it can be complicated. Time and money versus return. You can spend a lot of time on this, or a little bit of time. I think that there's a lot of admin involved as you expand. So just keep an eye on that, and you're going to get to a point where, if it's something you're going down where you want to get to a full scale production, there's a point where you need to just get a local broadcaster in to do that job. And most of the ones that I've dealt with have been pretty professional, and they've got a few different bits and pieces there that can really help. A lot of those guys do other sports. We've done some broadcasts here with News Corp, and we had their camera crew from a group called Topper here in Australia, and they have done so many sports that when they came into skateboarding, they were already ready and knew how to film, and they just stepped right in and did a really good job. So there would be, groups like this are equivalent all around the place that are willing to help you guys get off the ground if you get to that next expansion point too. So I think that's most for me. I think the main thing I'd focus on is start simple. Do the first one, plan around where you want it to go and the purpose. And like I said, some of you, the purpose will could be to just review judges and improve judging, all the way up to, build revenue. Think about your equipment. And I'm here as well. So if someone wants to talk to me after this about that, or what we've done in the past to help get these things on the ground. But I think the Liveheats platform, using YouTube is on almost everybody's phone. It's probably the best place I'd see it as a starting point for everybody. It's a lot easier for all of you to start than it was for me 10 years ago. So I think this Liveheats platform is going to be a great way for everyone to really get moving.
Beautiful. Thanks so much, Donny. So guys, if you have any questions for myself or Donny, please feel free to submit them through the Slido. I just added the link to the the chat in the Google Meet, and just for the next couple of moments, I'll start answering some of those questions. So I'll just quickly change my tab to share the questions. Okay, so I'll just work through some of these questions. So the first one, what do you recommend for Wi-Fi or Starlink to prevent lag and keep the scoring in sync with the live action? Yeah, this is a legitimate concern. So yeah, when you're scoring with Liveheats, obviously everything is instant. As soon as the scores are approved by the head judge, it's live within milliseconds. However, the live stream can be a little bit delayed, anywhere from 5 to 20 seconds, sometimes more. So it can look a little bit weird when you have the scores go live and then the wave or the ride comes in after that happens. So the short answer for this is we don't yet have a solution for that, but it's on our radar. So yeah, please stay tuned for an update on that one. But obviously having the as fast as possible connection will reduce the latency, but we haven't yet figured out a way to delay scores on Liveheats side to synchronize that. It is on our radar though. The second question is, can you run live streams off GoPros as well, or just phones? GoPro connected to the internet? Yes, you can, and we have seen this done. There are GoPros that have internet connection and Wi-Fi capability, so that is possible. And then you can also connect a GoPro to a laptop and run the stream through mixing software like OBS or Prism Live on a laptop. So yes, that is possible. Do you run everything through Prism app if you are doing multi-camera stream and not using an iPhone? So yeah, there are different options for doing a multi camera stream. The most popular solutions are OBS and vMix. They are both software tools for doing your switching between the cameras and doing the production. However, Prism Live is the new and exciting software platform on the block. They do have a desktop solution as well that supports multi-camera. So yeah, recommend checking that out. This question, I would love a little bit more info on the upgraded graphics and what graphics are now available from Liveheats. So yeah, Liveheats has two different options for graphics. We have a simple graphics output, which is spat out directly from the Liveheats live scoring. It works best for surfing, but it doesn't work very well for sports like snowboarding, skiing, skateboarding, surf lifesaving. However, we have partnered with a company called Lightning Visuals, who have got a really great graphic solution that works across multiple sports. They have integrated with our data and are offering very advanced graphic solutions for a range of sports. And it does have a dashboard for triggering and controlling the graphics. So it is available on our website. If you head to organiser.liveheats.com and you head to our broadcast graphics area, you can see some of the options we have in our new graphics package, but this is just the start of what we can offer now with our Lightning Visuals integration. And it's all natively synced in with our data. So yeah, definitely get in touch with us if you are interested in more advanced graphics than what we have offered over the last few years, because with this new integration, we have a lot of optionality there. So there's a few questions here around multicams and OBS tips. Yeah, my apologies. We did have Chris Smith planned on joining this call, who is a super technical streaming expert. He had to pull out due to a family emergency. So it is just myself and Donny who are less technical than Chris Smith. But please email me any questions you have on the technical side of OBS and multi-cams. And Chris has said that he will answer any questions via email. So don't hesitate to contact me, chris@liveheats.com, and I'll follow up with Chris Smith on those technical questions relating to OBS and multicam.
I can touch a little bit on the multicam. So normally there's a couple of ways to do it. YouTube Live, for example, if you go into like an advanced stream, you can add multiple cameras, and depending on the cameras, you can have multiple cameras push through that stream that way. The other way to do it is you use something like OBS or vmix, and what they do is they take all the input, but you would need somebody there who is going to switch the cameras. So I think I'll just use skateboarding because it's one I know. We've got a long rectangle course and we may have a camera at each end. So as they approach the other end, we would switch the cameras to make sure that they're, in shot really well. So, and someone needs to be ready to do that at any given time. It is just buttons, really. It is just buttons on that stream, but they need to be able to sit there and do that and be really focused, because if they do it, say, like if it's mid wave or mid surf, you can cut out when the switch happens something important. So the people who do that really do need to know what they're doing. But I think a single camera is a good start. But there's OBS is great. You've got YouTube does have that capability. It's got a lot more built in. If you get the more advanced streams, you can preload cameras with YouTube information and things like that as well. I mean, when we got to that point was when we decided to hire someone to do that, and we just point the streams to them and they handle it. It's pretty cost effective, but if you're going to do it in house, OBS and vmix, and even if you've got a YouTube account, go in, look at the settings, look at how you can add cameras, like play around and just get familiar with it, because that's all going to push it to Liveheats as well.
Beautiful. Thanks, Donny. And then finally, this question: is it possible to have unofficial TV scores for the live stream and then after the event update them to the official scores? Liveheats doesn't yet have two versions of scores, unofficial and official. We just have basically unapproved and approved. Once they're approved, they are public. They can be edited or changed once they are approved, but there isn't a additional badge or indicator on them saying they're unofficial. But we do have customers that have scores go live and then they do tell their community or their athletes that everything is unofficial until they've confirmed it later in the day. So by default, you could have scores going out live on the TV or on the live stream, and then make a statement later to confirm that there was no changes. That's how that would be handled currently. And then we just had one other question come through on the chat in the meet, which I'll switch to. I'm wondering if you had any thoughts to having external interaction from the viewers. For instance, surfing, it would be awesome to have viewers judge the waves, and that way have a contest judge provide their scores, and the viewers could provide their score and you incorporate it into the stream. So we are actually looking at a solution for fan voting or fan judging that would make the streams more interactive. That's not a feature that sits within Liveheats. However, there are partner platforms that offer fan judging. One in particular, I actually think Tony, who's building that particular solution, is on the call. So shout out to Tony Trancard, who is building a fan judging platform at the moment, and he will be integrating it with Liveheats platform. So please get in touch with me if you're interested in a fan judging or fan voting add-on, because we are talking to a partner who is interested in building such a tool, and it would sit as an add-on to Liveheats and be attached to it. Cool. And then a couple other questions before we wrap up. There's some great answers in the chat on the side, guys, if you want to have a look through those. For those people asking about the graphics, so the graphics Terrier, that works across all of our sports now: surfing, skateboarding, snowboarding, and with Lightning Visuals, they have a range of tools and features that you can use with that integration. You can have sponsor logos, so you can have different logos for each division. You have different graphics you can pull up. You have an overscreen, a full takeover. You have the bottom banner, a top banner, a side widget, a range of options. and a full control panel to manage those graphics. The Lightning Visuals graphics does require having an operator to manage it. It is a manual process to switch graphics on and off. However, they are at the moment looking at adding an autopilot mode that would cycle through the graphics based on what's live, which is exactly how the standard Liveheats solution works. But yeah, we will be talking with Lightning Visuals about adding some more tools into their solution, which is a really advanced graphic solution to bring that autopilot mode into it. So that's it for this webinar, guys. Terje asked, will the scores be added as a layer when we stream to Liveheats? Yeah, the short answer is yes, absolutely. So that's one of the benefits that we are offering for you to point your streams to Liveheats, is we will automatically add graphics for you. So that is coming. It's not available in the current streaming tools when you push to Liveheats. You do still have to put the graphics into the video using Prism Live or a OBS or vMix. However, in the future, we will be allowing you to just point the stream to Liveheats, and then we'll add the graphics on top automatically for you. So it would make one step less work for you guys running a stream. You can just have it all encased on Liveheats, and we'll do that heavy lifting for you. Cool, guys. We'll leave it there for this one, but thank you very much for those who joined. Thank you to Donny for sharing your journey with streaming. We really appreciate it. And like I said, we're really excited to advance our tech in this area of live streaming and video and highlights. So if you have any thoughts or ideas or questions, don't hesitate to contact me, chris@liveheats.com. We're stoked to collaborate with you guys and yeah, make sure that you're successful with using some of these new streaming tools and evolve them with you over the next few years. And then we will send out a recording of this meeting in the next couple of days. So you'll have this and can share it with your colleagues. But yeah, thank you everybody for joining. Really appreciate it. And yeah, don't hesitate to reach out if you have any follow-up questions.
And my email's on the slide. So if you have any questions or need a bit of help, feel free to reach out. I'm happy to support anyone if I can.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate your time.